Dark topic. Trigger warning, violence. Serial killers. This is a thing. It's a phenomenon among human beings. Why? Why is this a thing? Where does this come from? Where does any aberrant, perverse behavior come from? Okay, let's think about this. Serial killers. I believe the majority of serial killers are white males. Why? I don't know. This is a fact. Let's keep this in the back of our minds. Another fact, many serial killers have admitted to having pornography addiction that they developed in adolescence. Just as they were entering into puberty, they discovered a stash of nudie magazines, Playboys. Okay, their little brains are wiring, their hormones are going crazy. They are now associating sexual pleasure and arousal with the objectification of the human body, because they're not encountering a living, breathing person when this pleasure is taking place. No, they're seeing a photo, a thing. So now they associate pleasure with objectification, with being in charge, with doing what they want or they will, not having to take another person into consideration. Okay. Now, your hormones are raging at the same time that you've discovered this easy access to these photos. So you keep going back for more. Okay, well, when you keep taking in a substance, when you keep exposing yourself to a thing, you don't get the same effects. Over time, you build up a tolerance to it. You become sort of numb to it. So you have to take in more and more and more, or you have to make it more exciting in some way. You need to introduce novelty constantly to get the same effects that you once got in the beginning. This is how it can ultimately lead to something like serial killing. Because that's the ultimate owning of another, making another into a thing, an object that you dominate. Because sex no longer does it for you. Looking at photos no longer does it to you. Introducing pain into your pleasure, we gotta take that to the next level. Okay, it just keeps going up until you end up with a Ted Bundy. The reason I'm thinking about this is because we see what's going on with the Epstein files, with P. Diddy, with all the sex trafficking that's happening. It's being exposed that there's underground tunnels, that there's children being sold on markets as if they were cattle for the purpose of sexual ritual abuse. SRA. Satanic. It's a thing. All of this is being exposed. And who is at the helm of this? Who are the people participating in this? It's people with the most money, the most power. So I'm making a connection here. Okay. So when you have a lot of power, when you have a lot of money, what can you do? You can buy whatever you want. You can get whatever you want. In this culture, if you have enough money, you can break the law left and right and you just pay the judge. We all know that. Hire yourself a crooked lawyer. Money talks. So, it's just like the scenario where a kid discovers a stash of pornos and they make the association in their brain of objectification and sexuality, and they need more and more and more and more novel ways to get and seek pleasure. And okay, it's just like that with anything. When you can constantly have your way and do whatever you want, which is something that money allows you to do, it's the same thing. You build up a tolerance to it until you can't buy anything to make you happy. The experiences that you're seeking get more and more bizarre, more and more out there, because they need to be more and more novel for you to feel anything. Here's the connection. This is why we see such perversion among the elites of this world. They have too much power, purchasing power, and too little wisdom and too little heart. They've been corrupted by their own desires, by their flesh. And why is it white men that on average, that are the majority of these serial killers? Well, it's also white men that have the most money on average. They're related, guys. People are not meant to be billionaires. Okay? We're not that spiritually developed. Because a person who was spiritually developed enough to be able to responsibly handle and spend and wisely use that kind of money would never want that kind of money. They would never acquire that amount of money in the first place, because only a person with a deep void inside of them, a God-sized hole, seeks out that kind of money so that they can buy things to put in that hole. But it can never be filled. It's a void that gets bigger every time you stuff something down it, until you find yourself stuffing little children down it, underground in a tunnel. Like, I know all this sounds really bizarre, but it's real. It's a reality. And there are many, many beautiful things in the world too. And it's the beauty, the truth, that is exposing the darkness. I have faith that God wins, that everything that has been done in darkness will come into the light. And soon we will all find ourselves standing in the light. Those of us who are vibrating on that frequency will be stepping into that world, a new world, where people live in truth and light and love. We're headed there, guys. And the fact that all of this is being revealed it's proof of that. It's the light shining on everything. Time's up, game's over. But the point of this is, like, let's take a look at what it leads to. What opulence, what greed, what materialism, what out of control, unchecked capitalism, profit for the sake of profit, for the sake of consuming, what it leads to. Nothing good. Nothing good. What are you feeding with that kind of money? Your ego. Your emptiness, your brokenness. You want that to grow? What you feed grows. A gentle, kind, loving, Christ-like person doesn't chase money like that, because they already are whole. They are holy. And this is what we are seeing. We are seeing the unholiness of those that run this world currently, because money runs this world currently. But we're seeing what it leads to. It leads straight to hell. And we don't want to live in hell, do we? No. So let's get our priorities straight. Let's learn this lesson and let's course correct.